Hi, Julie Torrens here. So today I am working on a pizza box. I'll show you. And it's about 12 by 12. And I liked it because it's white and it's not shiny. So what am I doing? Making another master board because I need some, I'm struggling, I need some thank you cards. So I'm going to turn this master board into the fronts of thank you cards. And I've added some white gesso. But to that, I'm going to add some burnt sienna. Now I'm working out of what I call my bargain bowl. So those of you who've been with me a little while, you know that is a bowl, big bowl, mixing bowl of paint that I got from Tuesday Morning. I pulled out of a clearance bin at one of the big box stores, art craft store kind of places. And it's perfect for something like this. This is a use what you have kind of a project. I'm just wetting my big old, what I call a mop brush. It's really well, this is quite stiff. We'll just let that one soak a minute. I've got another one. This is from Wet n Wild. It's a cosmetic sponge or a cosmetic brush. And I just use it for projects like this. So I wet it so that the paint just doesn't want to automatically sink deep in. And the reason why I picked the burnt sienna to mix with my gesso for my first layer is I am going with another color challenge. And this is out at the PM Artist Studio Facebook, Makers of Mixed Media. And the challenge was spice colors, like mulled wine and oranges and, you know, when you take oranges and clove and you push the cloves into the orange to make like a pomader, that kind of thing. So I don't quite have enough paint. And I realize it's like streaky. That's fine. I don't mind that a bit. So it's oranges, yellows, and other colors that remind you of spice. And then you can also use a metallic. So I pulled some silver metallic out. And I was untwisting that forever. And I'm just getting this started now. Gesso dries fairly fast. Different acrylics dry at different rates. So I don't know if this is going to dry fast or slow, but so far it seems to be drying fairly fast. See if I can get this bottom corner here. I see some more paint here. And there we go. Get the edges, Julie. The edges and the corners. I tend to miss. This corner is a little bit smushed. Now, some of this is going horizontal, some is going vertical. When I cut them up, it's not going to matter. And we're going to be putting layers on top of this, so it's all good. All right, now, let's put that brush in and see if I can get both of these brushes a good going over. Now, these brushes cost me $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. So if that other brush, if I just didn't get it rinsed out well enough and it's going to be drying all hooked together like a stone, I just pitch it. But I'm usually pretty careful about this, but obviously not every time. See if I can, well, it's definitely softer. I'm going to stick it in the other one for a little while and we'll just let it ruminate. Okay, so first layer, what am I going to do? Well, I've got my trusty paper plate palette, and I've got some kitchen-y things, household things that I'm going to use for texture. So I've got a potato bag. And those of you that watch my channel, you've seen me use the potato bag before. I've got an onion bag, which I love the textures that makes. I've got some Old Faithful bubble wrap, and I've got some people call this sequin waste, other people call it punchinella. So These are just, get what you have, whatever you've got around the house. There's nothing special about that. Then I have one other stencil that I purchased, and will we use it? I don't know. When we get to it, we'll get to it. So I started out kind of dark, and I want to stay kind of dark. So I think the first layer, I'm just going to use that same burnt sienna. Some places it's going to show, some places it isn't, but I'm just going to put a little bit on my paper plate. Because this is 12 by 12, it's going to be hard to show you everything all the time, but I'll do my best. I promise I'll do my best. Got a cosmetic sponge, and I'm just tapping that in to kind of spread the paint out and get kind of a thinner coat on the end of my sponge here. And I'm going to start out with the Punchinella because it's on top. And this is one of those projects that your hands get messy. That's the joy of it. Don't let it worry you. That looks great. Get some more. I don't have a magic formula for this. I just go with my gut of where might be another good place to put this. And that's it. So for me, it's Happy New Year. Today is New Year's Day, 2023. But I realize that because I'm working ahead, you've already finished your New Year's. And I'm hoping that it is starting out on a good foot. That's what I want. That it's starting out with some promise. And there we go with another one. Now my finger picked up a little paint there. That's fine. More texture. I'm going to do some smaller areas too. They're not all going to be the same size. Remember the corners, Julie. I have to tell myself this all the time. Remember the corners. Remember the edges. I end up just plopping everything in the middle. And I don't work the corners and the edges like I should. I even not sure if you can see this, but I hope you can. I do have a little marker on my desk to try to help keep me in the frame. Put some in this corner. And I'm not even paying attention if I'm doing odd or even numbers of groupings of these. I'm just getting them on there. All right. I think I'm gonna plop one right here in the middle. Okay. Now, staying in my mind, the idea of spices, I've got just a little bit of this color left on here. And so I'm going to just add, this is a weird one. It's transparent. It's called Sepia, but it kind of looks like, I don't know, dirt. But it kind of looks like spices. It's kind of a greenish brown, kind of like an ash brown color. So I am just putting that with what I have on here. Same sponge. And I'm going to kind of mix up the two a little bit. And I'm going to grab another texture. Mix, mix. Okay. And I'm just grabbing the potato bag. And let's get some potato bag on here. Good. I'm not going to dip because the potato bag is fine, and I didn't get a whole lot of definition. What I got is fine, but to get more of the definition of the mesh, pardon me, of the mesh, I'm gonna, see, I'm a little more of a mesh pattern is happening there. Go to an edge. That looks good. Here's another spot. And I'm going to go into the new color a little bit more. I think it's called Sepia. Yeah. Okay. And I'm trying not to pound quite so hard since I reloaded. Yep. I'm just adding texture and color. That's why I didn't care if the underneath was a little bit more mottled. Now I pretty much have just the sepia now. And let's add some of that. Get down here at this edge. Again, I'm trying to go with a little bit of a lighter touch. Now some of this, oh, I pulled up quite a bit there, didn't I? Well, that's fine. Let's hit it with some color. There, fixed. That's just because my fingers are pressing into the acrylic. That's good. I'm just going into the sepia again. I did it again. This little area is just a little bit on the wet side. Cover it up. It'll be fine. Who knows? There could be a flower on top of that, or some other piece of ephemera. No, I'm not worried about it one bit. I'm not just saying it, but thinking something else. I mean it. All right, one more time. And again, I tried to just keep it in the sepia family there. But whatever it is, it is. All right. Okay. This is looking good to me. All right. And now, like I said, spicy. And what I'm trying to avoid is it to look distinctively autumn. So, all right. I've got some titanium white, but I don't want to put that in there yet. And I've got some kind of a yellow ochre color. Let's see. How about, I brought some reds in. I'm going to get this red. Now this one is crimson. Now crimson is going to be, to me, like Christmas red. Pretty bright. So I'm going to add just a dot of that. And I'm going to add some of this yellow ochre, and maybe we'll get kind of an orangey color. We'll see. Because right now it looks to me like kind of like paprika, chili powder, that kind of a thing. But let's just see what these two colors. And I am mixing them. I don't care if they're totally homogenized, but I just want a different color again. And let's see what we can do with this. What is this called? All right. I'll tell you, ever since COVID, I've lost my words. I am just gonna put some on top. Bubble wrap. Ugh. So frustrating. It almost looks like a colors we've already got going, but let's just see. Well, it is oranger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little more of the ochre. And I'm going to, this is how much more I added. And let's just mix it around. All right. Going back onto my bubble wrap here. And let's get some of this on. And I'm not smashing it on, I'm just gentle. Okay, yes, I'm definitely seeing more of that yellow. So that's good. Again, this is subtle. This is not supposed to be bright. And I'm going over what I've already put on plus empty spaces. Very good. Let's get more. Kind of like there's a turmeric color in here. Working in the middle. Don't forget the edges, Julie. So, what's your weather like? I've got overcast. It was raining this morning. Wow, was it raining. And, you know, after a blizzard, to hear that rain is, I guess, a little unexpected, but I haven't been really paying attention to the weather because I'm not going anywhere right now. You know, I don't have to go to work, and I wasn't planning on going anywhere on New Year's Day, so I'm sure they predicted it. I just wasn't paying attention. I'm liking it. I hope you can see. I hope that you like it. I'm going to do at least one more of these. It's gotten more towards the reddish color again. That's all right. Let's put it where we don't have much of anything. Good. I'm going to put some right here. Good. I didn't pick up, it's taking off what's on here, which is kind of a beigeish color. I got some here too. That's fine. Okay. Well, we can always come back to this. I've got this other one, and I'm going to go into the ochre again, but I'm going to not add any of the red. I'm just going with the ochre color, yellow ochre. And I'm going to use this. Now, this can be tricky because it's so flimsy, but it can give you some pretty amazing results. But you got to be patient, and you've got to expect to get your fingers in it a little bit. It's there. This color is awfully transparent. It's popping up and down so much. You can barely see the pattern, but we'll get it. Yep, it's there. You may have to be holding it in your hand to see it, but it's there. Yep. Good, good. Doing more. Very good. Let's get some up in the corner. Ooh, sticking. Yeah, good. Good. I've got a big space here. Let's see if I can get some of this on there. As I say, you've got to be patient with this. You can't go fast, but then it's worth it. Okay, more. I'm looking around. Good. Okay. All right. Now, next layer, and I'm going to be using some of these in a repeat, but I feel like we've got a nice dark background. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think of it. And now let's add white. So I've got this Daler Rowney titanium white. I'm going straight into where I had the yellow ochre and that reddish color. I don't want it to look pink. That would be heading in the wrong direction. But I'm mixing the yellow ochre plus what's under there. I'm going to grab this sepia, put that in there. Good. All right. I'm going back to the bubble wrap. Why, you say? Well, why not? And I'm going to head on this side of it. This is kind of a tannish color, but that's fine. It's yellow ochre, a little sepia, white, and good. Very good. It's going to be warmer, I noticed, the next couple days, like almost 60 degrees, which in Western Michigan, in January, maybe this is our January thaw. We do usually get a full-blown January thaw. So maybe it's going to be, maybe that's going to be it. We usually don't get it this early, but who knows? Even though I'm repeating bubble wrap, I don't think it looks like it because of the color difference is so striking. I think it just looks like another layer of texture. Good. I'm not even going to refill it, and I'm going to stick some right here and hopefully get kind of a second generation. Yes. Good. I'm going to try it right here. The third generation. Fine. I want some more though. I want some in that upper left corner. I'm going to put some right up in this upper right corner. And another generation right here. Fine. Okay. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I hope that you are. All right, now, here's what my little tray looks like. So what could I add to this that is going to, again, talk about spices? Right here. I'm going to add, is this the one I used before? Yes. All right, now this color is called vermilion. So I'm going to add some of that. It might, again, be awfully red. Yeah, this looks, well, it's hard to know. In the tube, it looks more like a warm red. Yeah, I think it's a warm red. Let's just give it a plop and see what we get. So there we have it. It's definitely not coming up pink. Let's just see. I'm going to go back to this, not this, this. I'm going to just test it in a little corner. Because if it's too much like what we already have, kind of is. Well, I'm going to put it where there's absolutely nothing. Of course, that's edges. It's really quite nice. Up here. It's nice, but it's just so much of what we already have. But I'm going to use it. It's not exactly. So that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to put a little right here. Okay. All right. I am liking this. I'm telling you the truth. Okay, it's looking busy, and it's time to maybe push back, push back. So what am I going to do to push back? Well, I'm going to, if this was a perfect world, I would be using up this paint. I'm going to give it a mist, and I'm going to set it aside and hope that it doesn't dry so much that I can't put it into one of my art journals later. But I'm not going to have you wait for that. Okay, let's get that silver out. I'm giving it a shake. And this is a Martha Stewart Crafts metallic, and I got it in a set of metallics and pearl paints. And I really wanted it for the metallic, but I used them all. All right, I put a little silver out here, and I'm going to add to it ochre. I think so. I'm going to go back to the yellow ochre. And mix those two up and see what we get. I'm going to check that brush. Are you any softer? Ooh, I don't think so. All right, I'm taking it out of the water because it does have a wooden handle, and that handle will swell. I'm not going to clean this. Mixing these two up. And I'm going to put this through Punchinella. And it's just kind of a gray yellow. Let's start out here, and then I'm not dragging my arms through it. Yes. So the holidays are essentially over. Have you started thinking about maybe Valentine's Day? Those of you that have a Etsy store, I'm sure you're thinking about that. If you do holiday themed things, some people don't really have holiday specific things in their Etsy stores, and some do. I'm interested to know if you want to leave your link to your Etsy store, even if we have to cut and paste it. That would be great. I'd love to see what you've got going on this winter. I can see the shimmer. The acrylic paint that I mixed with it didn't overwhelm the shimmer. And I can definitely see the shimmer. I'm liking the change in the color, as well as the finish, that we've gone from more of a matte finish to this silvery finish. I like that a lot. Yep, it's coming along. Now what I'm going to do, because I see so much, like some areas are glary, some areas are bright, so I want to turn it so now I'm getting a little bit of a different view. And I've still got plenty of that silver and ochre mix. I'm liking it. And it is definitely feeling spicy to me. And the color I'm adding now, it kind of reminds me of mustard. Yes. Almost out of paint. It's all right. Is there any place that I feel like I have none? Few places, but that's all right. We've got another layer going on. I'm going to give it a turn again. And I'm going to see if I can get some right in here. You can see I'm scraping the barrel. That's fine. I should be able to get one more and maybe two more spaces with this. Okay. All the way up in the tippy top corner. All right, that looks good. Okay, now I want to get one more layer. I'm going to tip this up so that I can just get a little better view. Oh, this view is better. I like it even better. Okay, now where do we go from here? Well, I've got primarily that mustard color on this now, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to add titanium white. I'm going to add some of this strange sepia color. Not a lot. That's fine. Very transparent. And boy, I'm scared of anything that reads red. But we do have a lot of yellow going on. Let's just mix these two up and see what we get. We can always add more something to it. Really didn't tint the white very much. Like I said, it's kind of an ash color. And so what I'm getting is kind of like a gray-green. I don't mind it, but it doesn't speak to me as a spice. Okay, burnt sienna. It's the least reddish of the reds that I have. It's kind of a brick color. So I added just a small amount of that, and let's see. Oh, add it all. Yeah, maybe like this, leaving it kind of mottled. I think it'll be a different color again. Let's see. All right, let's go back to the net, this one, and let's just do a tester on the edge here. Definitely light, which is good. Oh, fine. Fine. Let's go. I picked this because I really wanted more of a fine texture. Do you have a word for the year? I know some people have words that is like to represent the direction that maybe they'd like to go with their art or with their craft. I don't really have one. I would say if I'm out looking, the thing that I'm always on the lookout for is inspiration. I just love it, don't you, when an inspiration just hits you, maybe even in the middle of the night, and you just want to jump up and work it out. I love when that happens. And I want that to happen more. And I'll tell you, the way you get that is by feeding your mind more. Read, get into some books, get on Pinterest and just look and look. Watching videos, maybe videos of art techniques that you don't realize might be you. Quilting. Now, I am not a sewer. I have a sewing machine. I've had it since September. I haven't used it yet because I'm scared to death of it. And I just need to get over my anxiety and do it. And I will. But quilting and the way that they form what I would call collage is stunning. And the way that they use different patterns and different textures and different like finishes is just breathtaking. And so, but yet, am I a sewer? No. Am I a quilter? No. Did I get inspiration? Lots. So I need to do more of that. Stop watching what I know and start filling my mind with some new thoughts, new ideas, new techniques. And as I say, with mixed media, for us, the sky's the limit. So, okay, folks, I am liking this. Good. All right, now, I do have one stencil. Now this, I'm pitching. It's so heavy on one end. It's just so, you know, it's just so imbibed in all that paint. I am going to go to the clean side. I'm going to get my silver, which we do have some shimmer out there. It's definitely not reading silver, but we've got some shimmer. I'm going to start with silver, and this silver, I just know from using it, is quite transparent. So to it, I am going to add some of this white. And as I said, you know, I wasn't sure if the white was just going to knock out the shimmer. It didn't. So I'm going to use that. I'm getting a fresh sponge. And I'm just mixing these two up. And it in the plate here, it definitely has a metallic shine to it. Maybe more of a pearlized look, but I still like it. Okay, I do have a stencil. It's a PM Artist Studio stencil, and it was designed by Carrie Griffiths, and it's these flowers. And I just thought for a thank you card, which is what these are going to turn into, I thought it would be nice. So PM Artist Studios, check them out. They've got a fabulous webpage. They also are on Facebook in their mixed media, makers of mixed media. Take a look. Mariah and Patricia, a mom and daughter team that own and run the company, and I appreciate what they do so much. All right, starting here at the top, and I am just going to work this down in horizontal stripes and see what we get. I don't want too much, okay? Because I don't want it to do a lot of migrating under the stencil. Okay, let's see. The acrylics underneath are a little bit tacky. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one over that one so that there is a little bit of uniformity, but if it's not perfect, I don't care. It's just kind of to help me space it out. Okay. And I'm going to do the same here. And if I'm going perfectly straight or not, it doesn't matter. I just want these flowers. Good. Do it again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line the edge of the stencil up to the flowers. There. Kinda. Sorta. I'm not looking for perfection. Perfection is overrated. And honestly, for me, it just drives me nuts. So I've given myself permission in my mixed media to not be perfect. in there. Any surprises over the holidays or since winter has come? How many of you got art supplies? I did not get art supplies this year, but I still got some lovely gifts. So I'm certainly not complaining. I think it'd be hard to buy art supplies for me because I don't always know what I want. I've got some things on my own personal wish list, but they're not things I would necessarily ask someone to buy for me. Like I need a new trimmer of some kind, either a guillotine or like a rotary, the kind that's like on a frame and it has a rolling type of a blade, something. I need some kind of a good trimmer. Some of the things on my wish list since I started my YouTube channel, I already got. Like I wanted a board that you use so that you can make folds. And so it's like a scoreboard. You score your paper with it. And that's great. I found it at clearance, and I think the reason why it was on clearance, it was less than half price. And it's a We Are Memory Keepers, something like that. The packaging was just destroyed, but the packaging, like the information of it was intact, and the scoring board and all of its parts were totally intact. Just that the clamshell and paper and all that was totally ruined. Like, I don't know, like a forklift fell on it. But I was really happy to get that. So I do have, I am getting things. The sewing machine, that was a big one that I wanted, that I got myself. My sister came from Atlanta, Georgia, and she wanted to go to a big quilt show that they have here, which she did. And then she and I went shopping, and she helped me shop for a sewing machine, knowing what it is that I'm doing and what I would need that's enough but not too much. So I was happy to have her wisdom when it came to picking that out. What do you think? I think this is going to be adorable thank you cards. And I'm still going to add ephemera to it. All right, I think I'm just going to add a touch of silver. I seem to have plenty of white, but I just want to add a little silver to my current mix. Give it a mix up. Yeah. There was just a heavy area of the titanium white. Well, Carrie Griffiths, if you're watching, I love this stencil. I love these Flower Power flowers. I love that they're in a row to make like a border, or in my case, a horizontal pattern to put on my upcoming thank you cards on my pizza box. Yep. And the reason why I'm not worried about the back is I'm going to cut these, and then I'm going to round the corners, and I'm going to mount them on blank cards. I have blank card stock. Well, cards. And I buy them in, they're, what color are they? Craft paper color. And I buy them in groups of 50. And I'm not really overly concerned about the quality of the cardstock that they use, because I generally just do something like this and I just need it as a place to glue. And then it has, of course, the envelopes. So I'm all set with envelopes then. So that works out well for me. I'm not a card maker, but when I need cards, I make them myself. But I don't make them extras, you know, stacks and stacks of them. I don't participate in things like card swaps because, again, it's not my bag. But I don't mind making them. I just don't want to take a weekend and do nothing but sort of on a assembly line style, just be making cards. But this that I'm doing, oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So next video, this is going to need to dry. I mean, come on, how many layers do I have on here? And it's, you know, it's got to dry through and through. Otherwise, when you go to cut it, you're just going to be getting acrylic paint on your scissors. It'll be a mess. Let it cure. Be patient. And the next time that, may not be the next time we get together because I may make a video again before this dries, but we will have a part 2 and I'll show you how I cut them. I'm going to round the corners. I'm going to ink up the edges. I'm going to add ephemera, maybe a sentiment. I like to leave my cards blank inside if I can. Sometimes I'll just include a handwritten note on a piece of paper because then that person can turn around and use it as well. And they're just very standard sized. So if my envelope can't be reused, and I try to make it so it could be, but if they feel they can't use it, any greeting card standard size envelope will work just fine. And I'll tell you, you can find those in bags full at the thrift store. There's always a lot of envelopes of some description or another. One more. And there. Spice colors. One metallic. One masterboard going to be cut up into thank you cards. I hope you like it. Let me give it a turn this way. Isn't that pretty? I think so. I'm going to bring it up to you closer, so hopefully you can see it even better. And since you hung in with me this long, please hit the like. If you're new and like my content, subscribe. I need subscribers so much. And I am looking forward to seeing you in another video. Bye now.